Welcome back to JUCO Jam, episode 2. With me, as always, the great one, the JUCO advocate himself, Brandon Goble. Brandon, happy Monday. How are you, sir?
Woo. Here we go. It's Monday. It's another week.
Beginning of week 4 of junior college basketball. Let's get into the rewind. Let's talk about the week that was on Friday. We'll start with things in Plano, if we shall.
Mm.
Uh, Lee Odessa, a little bit of a slow start. Odessa with a big 81-61 win over Lee. And maybe the game that started the rise of the pony, if you shall, was Panola South Plains. Panola 87, South Plains 70. Travis Terrain, rain threes all afternoon, 31 points on 12 out of 16 from the field, 7 of 10 threes. Fan favorite, NL St. Bernard, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, 4 ponies, and double figures. Just some quick thoughts on opening day in Plano.
What did our friend call it? The terrain train? Or was that you? One of you
Yeah,
called
Coach
it.
Cody Hopkins went with the terrain train.
Yeah.
I like more of the James Taylor. I think it's softer. I've seen fire and I've seen terrain. But But the kids today may not be as excited about the James Taylor reference for Travis Terrain. But regardless, I can't tell you how tall he is, how much he weighs, or where he's even from. None of that information could be found on a website. Um, but you can
We'll, we'll
imagine
we'll reach out to we'll reach out to the people in charge over
if
there.
you close your eyes and think of what you'd like a wing shooter to look like, it's Travis Terrain.
Travis Terrain. I've seen
It,
fire. I've seen terrain. Um,
it's Ray Allen in a pony jersey. That's what we're talking about here.
Things have gone
40,
off the rails immediately at the JUCO
46%
Jam.
from the season on three. I hear that's good for a volume type shooter. Just
Yeah.
talk to me about Plano, ponies, wherever you want to go from here.
Yeah. I mean, Odessa, scoring a lot, which, Odessa is a nightmare when they are putting up points because they're going to flex on you defensively. So that was a big time win. Definitely see them starting to, probably start crawling up those poles here as we get into league play later on in the season. But Panola, as it is on Monday morning here, even though the show won't release until Wednesday. Monday morning, number one in the media poll, Panola. So I'm sure they're very excited about that and having maybe even a mini celebration.
I'm sure
Um,
they've been refreshing their Twitter, waiting for the media poll to be released.
yeah, 100%, 100%. But
Sometime
yeah,
around
Travis,
4 p.m. Eastern, the national poll will be released as well. There's that one.
there's also that one, the other poll. But yeah, terrain was unbelievable, and Anel St. Bernard is just like that kind of catch-all, do-all, like what do you need me to go do guy that you have to have in junior college and has very much lived up to it. And they're playing without Mershawn Dickerson right now too, who is a very, very good player and hopefully will be back healthy soon. And if they can get him back, the pony's going to be rolling. So
Watch out. And then also on Friday night, Northwest Florida began their journey to New Rochelle, New York, and took on Harcum. Harcum with their second really big statement win of the year. Harcum wins 80-77 at Monroe. Nick Jones, who was at JA 48 with you, had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 steals. Curtis Williams and Josh Hayes, 15 points each. Nick Jones is just a really good basketball player, and if I'm a coach out there at Division I school looking for a point guard that you can just plug and play and give him 30 minutes and forget about it, Nick Jones is a great place to start.
yeah, loved being around him this summer too. Just an awesome kid, like personable and just a joy to be around. I think the knock on him for people has been, consistent shooting. But honestly, like he's just so talented and he really just runs things that I don't know as if I even really care. Like I'm not asking him to go out there and just, rip the nets. I
Find
know
other shooters. What you do
yeah,
is you get a
yeah.
combo deal. You sign Nick Jones and you get the terrain train,
And
right?
the terrain train, and then you're good to go, right?
So
But
all the Division I coaches out there, we have ideas. We're
we have
coming to you with
ideas. We have
ideas.
ideas. You can reach
And
Nick Neal.
Nick Jones gets a lot of steals. Like that guy is really good defensively. He's like Rajon Rondo out there. He's just like a Velcro magnet for the basketball.
Super athletic too. Gets downhill. So, but Harcum, I was teasing John Ball. I was like, so is it Jekyll? Is it Hyde? Like, which one are we today? Because they've had a couple They had a down, and then they've had a couple near downs, and then they've had some huge ups. So you know,
I
um,
would say the theme of November is that every JUCO program gets one mulligan.
yeah, there you go. I like that. We're gonna make that. We're gonna put that in the book, rule book, the official rule
It's in
book.
the handbook. One mulligan. Choose when you want to use it. Um, Saturday we had a big game, big slate of action. We earmarked 5 games, and I'll do the big one. We'll do the big one. People are talking about it.
People are talking.
Panola, Howard.
Yep.
Just more ponies, more terrain. Coe Thurman, point guard,
Mhm.
8.3 assists per game.
That's good if you're
Strong
gonna do
like
that.
an ox. He
Yeah,
was just bouncing off people and getting to the rim. I liked him a lot. Um, Panola just destroyed a really good Howard team, and that's putting it nicely. It was just a massacre.
from the drop.
Um,
Yeah.
every Panola reminds me of the perfect hybrid between the John Clancy Triton team that went to the Final Four that had all of these like 6'5" guys that were very multiple, right? They
Yeah.
were skilled enough to play guard, they were tough enough to play power forward, with a little bit of the Todd Franklin Vincennes 2019 team, right? Because they're not big. I'm
Right.
assuming they're not big. I don't have their heights and weights, but it seems like a lot of 6'5" kids that
He's
are just
coming for you,
really
Joe.
tough.
He's coming
We
for you
love
on
Joe,
the website, Joe.
but they're all like a bunch of Jimmy Butlers out there. Like
Yeah.
I was telling a Division 1 coach, like, which one should I recruit? I was like, well, St. Bernard's, he's committed, but I would sign the other 4 starters. They would all start for you, and you'd be just fine. What position would they play? I don't think it matters. You
I
just
don't
signed them.
know if it matters. They play basketball player position.
I mean, I think Coach Joe is doing just an incredible job, with this team. I don't know if you want to talk any more pony. You can. I'm going to give you 2 additional games to chime in on real quick. Monroe ruined Northwest Florida's weekend. Monroe beats Northwest Florida. Triton decimates John A. Logan. I'll give you those 3. A quick little 3-pack for you, BG. What do you got?
Well, you skipped the third one, which I guess was what, Neo at Coffeeville?
Well, that's coming. I'm going to save you that
Oh,
as
oh, I
as
see.
the
I see. So
finale. Finale.
we got a
So
pair of games.
I'm preparing you to talk about Howard Panola, Northwest Florida
Oh,
Monroe,
I see.
Logan
Well, I
Triton. So
didn't
I'm
know we
giving
were
you
still
those
doing the pony.
3.
Yeah, okay. So that ponies. We've
Say
talked
something
about.
nice about Coach Joe if you'd like, then we can transition.
He's coming for you, Joe, on the website. So just the sports
Yeah.
ad
And
on that.
I don't think it's probably Coach Joe's responsibility to get height, weights, hometowns,
It's
or
junior
previous
college. It might
losses.
be his responsibility, actually. Yeah, tough weekend for Coach DeMayo. We know they'll be back. He's going to get them right. He's one of the best coaches in the country. Just at that, and good on them for going up there and playing that. He probably doesn't feel like that right now. But these are the kinds of things that are better for junior college, and it's in the long run. Hopefully, they'll learn some things, and it'll pay off for them down the road. Triton just another great team. They're so interesting because even to this day, I still talk to a lot of coaches and they're like, "Is it Triton? What's that one?" And I'm like, "Guys, like, what are you talking about?" Like they've been to multiple Final Fours recently. Like they're a real team with real players that have gone on and done real things. So
Yeah,
wake
and
up.
Amar Aguilar might be in the NBA, and Dylan Williams is in an Ivy League school,
Yeah, yeah.
amongst others, amongst
They
amongst others.
love him at Penn too. Like right off the rip, they just said, "Oh, this guy's fantastic." I was like, "Yeah, we know."
How could you not? And then the nightcap, NEO at Coffeeville. NEO gets a nice win there. It was the return game, for Jimmy James, who'd been out for a bit with an injury. And then Demarion Van Kelly just was raining threes. I think he ended up with 10 threes, 38 or 39 points. He was terrific. And then the game that I was really excited to watch, Indian Hills at CSI, just all the nostalgia, blue blood basketball, Russ W. Oker on the call. Um, Little slow at times in the first half. It was kind of a rock fight where both teams were really struggling to score. And then Indian Hills goes a little bit smaller, a couple more
Yep.
guards in the lineup. And a guy that I came away just in love with, Zevin Gadsden,
Yeah.
6'2", 175 from Akron for Indian Hills. What a beautiful shot that kid has. And I think they may have found something there. But Indian Hills, talk about multiple. They have like 5 or 6 guards that pretty much all look the same. and interchangeable parts for
Yeah, they
days
can
there
really spread it
for you.
out. Um, they and having big wings, kind of wing forwardy type guys that can handle the ball. It's not a beautiful jump shot for Will Casey, but like when he gets cooking, I mean, I was at another game, and so I was following along the stats with this, and I think Will might have started out one of six or seven or something, and then finished the game strong. And that just being able to have those guards that you can plug and play, and then those big wings, and João de Chagas got a couple minutes, I believe,
Yeah, there
which
was
will
a
be
sighting.
huge for them if he can be healthy, even if it's not until January that
Huge
he's.
would be the right word.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. And Vladi, the Ukrainian, has done a great job holding down the
Played
forward
really well
line.
in the second half in the
Yeah,
game.
plays hard, plays the right way, all that. So, him getting this experience, and then if Zhao can come back healthy, Indian Hills is absolutely a team to watch because man, they just get at you from everywhere.
We're going to transition now to the rundown where we're going to go through this week's top 10 games. We're going to start with Wednesday. Brandon, can you believe this early in the season, pre-Thanksgiving, Hutchinson, Barton,
We get Jayhawk basketball right off
Jay
right off the
Jayhawk
bat.
pre-Thanksgiving? They said no, non-conference schedule's over. We've done our six. Let's get into it. I mean, it's a great game. Hutchinson Barton, Wednesday night. Mark your calendar.
Yeah, and Barton now, starting to kind of show like, look, we just didn't know to start the season. They lost so much from that national championship team. And mind you, those players have gone on and are doing well. Ring Malith has been crushing it for SIUE. But now they've gotten kind of their uh fall jamboree whatever's out of the way, and playing really well. And so the good part is for Jayhawk team, even if it's you know kind of taking a minute to get through whatever you're doing in non-conference play, you know that when the conference play comes, you're going to really get to show who you are and what you are. And Coach Coombs is going to have those guys ready to rock. And then but when you're going against a team like Kyle Fisher's Hutch, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just such a strong um, game right off the bat to have.
They're going to be angry. Tough
But
week for Hutch. Coming
a
in
tough week
angry.
for Hutch. Yeah, yeah. I would not want to be playing them right now. So it's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Must watch basketball Wednesday night. We're going to transition to Thursday. I'm going to give you four games. I want to know what you're going to be dialed into, Brandon. Um, and I know that's not the right question. We're going to have multiple screens going, but we got McLennan Howard, Snow Midland, Ranger, Florida Southwest. Just a quick note: Ranger plays Florida Southwest Thursday and Indian River on Friday. Um, so Ranger is doing a great job taking on top competitions throughout the country. And then finally, um, we traditionally think of these games on Monday for Mississippi Monday, but this is going to happen on a Thursday. East Mississippi at Jones, Purnell Brothers, LJ Hickman, House. So Thursday, what gets you most excited about that Thursday slate of action?
McLennan Howard is super interesting because McLennan is a very good team. And, I think they have an opportunity to make some noise at the end of by the end of the year here. And Howard is a team of like some really good talent. They were highly ranked early on. Just completely went off the rails against Panola. They've got a couple players that were expected to be, um, you know, top 5 to 10 players in the country that just have not shown that yet. And so I think there's still a ton of potential there, but this is a game that like Howard needs to kind of right the ship with and have those players step up. Unfortunately, Kizia Kisi's just not found it yet. I get that it's tough coming in the style of play and all that sort of stuff, but this is a good opportunity for them to kind of get things going in the right direction. And then that Snow Midland game is going to be fun. We've talked about Snow a lot. We've talked about a lot of the players there. We haven't talked about Midland a lot, so this is a great opportunity for Midland.
Ray Arnold can coach some defense now.
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna have him ready to guard that perimeter for sure.
Then Friday, a couple of great games. Snow Odessa. I mean, talk about a stylistically challenge and a great test to see, how tough snow is because they're going to get tested to see how tough they are. And then Indian Hills has this like infinite road trip. They play John A. Logan Friday, but crazy trip. Wabash Valley in Mount Carmel on Wednesday, Logan on Friday, then they play Shawnee at Logan Saturday. So they do a full region, like a tour of Region 24. Um, Russ, I know you're listening. I like Taco Tierra for you Wednesday in Mount Carmel. And if you can get some Mackey's Pizza while you're in the Marion Carterville area, I think that's going to be a big win for you over the weekend. So Friday, what are you thinking there? Snow Odessa, Hills Logan.
I mean, Snow Odessa again. We've talked about snow a ton, but this is now
Get
another.
used to it, people.
Yeah, but this is because they're
There's going
fairly
to be a
unique in the
theme.
way they play. But Odessa is unique in the way that they play defense. Not unique in that like what they do, and unique in the fact that they just want to punch you in the face all the time. So, these two like
And Bucket's a
style
great coach. He's an
matchups,
amazing
yeah,
coach.
yeah. The style matchup is going to be super fun, and then Indian Hills like. Whew. I mean, it doesn't really matter who you play when you go on a trip like that. That many games in short number of days. Welcome to JUCO. But these are the kinds of things that really prepare you for the tough stuff later
Yeah.
on. So
And Logan has kind of a smaller gym, but it's a really nice gym. And I would be shocked if that place is not near capacity on a Friday night in Carterville. Saturday, really fun slate of action. Moberly Vincennes, two of the great coaches, Pat Smith, Todd Franklin. There's a ton of wins on the sideline there. VU also plays Kankakee on Tuesday. And if you're a big fan of, junior college basketball for 30 years, there was a time when that game was just a marquee game on the schedule when Kankakee was a national top 10 program. John A. Logan continues their really easy schedule in the early going. They play Triton again. And then Logan also plays Mineral Area on Wednesday. So this week, Logan plays Mineral Area on Wednesday, Indian Hills on Friday, Triton on Saturday. So they're biting off a lot there. And then finally, Saturday, Barton Garden City. So Saturday, what are you most excited there on Saturday, Brandon?
that Barton Garden City game is the one I've got circled. We haven't gotten to see a ton out of Garden City yet. Just the way the schedule's worked out. Lots of talent. Dropped one early. Kind of need to.
Mulligan.
Yeah, Mulligan.
Pun.
Mulligan.
Use the pun. Use the mulligan.
It's fine. It's fine.
You send it into
Uh,
headquarters. They send you back a $25 Chili's gift card. That's how it
right.
works.
But this is going to be a great game. This is one that Garden probably needs to set the tone with, for who they are. But going up against Coach Coombs and Barton, returning national champions, and they're launching their way up the polls. That's maybe not the one you want to start with, but hey, go set the tone, right? I mean,
All
either
right.
team.
We've given you 10 games. Get them marked on your calendar. Flow chart it out if you need to. This is can't miss junior college basketball. Guys, stay with us. When we return, we're going to have Coach Andrew May from the Snow Badgers
Because
with
we're going to talk
us.
more about snow, is what we're going to do. So.
Get used to it. When we return, Coach Andrew May.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. With us today, we're honored to have Coach Andrew May from Snow. The Badgers are undefeated, one of the hottest teams in junior college basketball, and also have a couple of the most sought after Isaacs in all of basketball. Coach May, thank you so much for joining us on JUCO Jam.
Appreciate you guys having me on. I just want to say on behalf of all the jammies that follow the JUCO Jam, we really appreciate all that you guys do. And the only thing that's better than watching JUCO Jam is watching Brandon's cooking. That's probably the best part on social media. The other night I'm looking through, and my wife looks over and she's worried about what I'm looking at. I'm like, it's just ribs. Don't worry about it.
He's looking at his phone going, "Oh yeah."
And she's wondering.
The tri-tip
Yes.
had everybody wanting more. So
That's
Brandon and I
right.
actually thought about doing a segment like Cooking JUCO,
Oh yeah.
which I thought would be like a great closing segment.
Yep.
But yeah,
Nick, are you glazing over the fact that he just gave our fan club a name?
I know.
The Jammies?
The
Come on.
jammies. Of course.
Now we have to go get shirts made. We have to send them out to everybody who's been on the show.
100%.
I would love one of those if that's at all possible. You guys keep the royalties. I don't want any of them, but just the shirt would be awesome.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
So, Coach, the Badgers are rolling, one of the hottest teams in junior college basketball. But before we talk about what you guys do on the court, one of the things I was really excited to read about is what you guys are doing off the court. If I have my notes correct, I believe you guys had a 3.7 GPA in the fall last year. Every player above a 3.0 GPA. That has to make it really easy for these Division I schools to come in and recruit your guys, knowing that
Yeah.
they're doing what they need to do in the classroom. Just talk a little bit about kind of the type of guys that you're bringing to Snow and the support that they're getting to achieve these type of academics.
Yeah. So last year we had 10 academic All-Americans, which is probably, I don't know if it's the most in our school history, but I mean it's a ton. And we're pretty straightforward with guys when they come here, that we like hold them accountable. We make sure they go to class, all that stuff. And I know there's a spectrum of experiences kids have in junior college as far as academics go, but we really try to pride ourselves in that side of it, of we're going to handle our business in the classroom. And we try to make sure they understand how clear it is that there's 357 some odd Division I schools, and there's going to be 50 to 60 of them that won't touch a kid that has bad grades. And so we try to make it clear that we want to keep all those doors open. And so also having a reputation among junior colleges to be a high academic place where we've had 2 Ivy League kids go to Ivy Leagues, and so that's definitely a focus when kids come here, and we're pretty straightforward about it. And I think having that culture where kids are bought in to crushing it in the classroom, it becomes pretty standard. It's just what kids do. So it's been great.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about your schedule and your thoughts around putting together a great schedule. And just for the listeners out there, the jammies, if you will, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, all 30 games are against NJCAA Division I teams, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we last year we had the typical 4 non D1s, including a few NWAC schools, and we felt like from a scheduling standpoint, and especially because of the challenging nature of our league, that every night is a battle, that we needed to be way more aggressive in our non-conference scheduling, and just so that we're prepared when it's night after night, you're playing tough teams, and we're definitely intentional. We play this week. We're going to Odessa to play Midland, Odessa, New Mexico Military, and then 2 weeks from now we go to Indian Hills. I mean, those are all just games that recreate exactly what we're going to get when we go to CSI, to Salt Lake, and so that's definitely what and our guys have really embraced it. I told them at the beginning of the year, this is the toughest schedule Snow basketball's ever had, and it's going to be a grind. And so I think it's been surprising how much our guys have really embraced that, and they've definitely enjoyed it more. There's not a JV night where we're playing a team and beating them by 70 and all of that stuff. That it's been battles every night.
Nick,
And
the time that they reverse the ball 6 times and bury a 3 at the end of the shot clock, all those teams are going to go, not again. Take them off the list.
Yeah, well,
no
we
more
tried to
Badgers.
get. Yeah. We tried to get a few of them to be home and home so that they will come back to our place and all that. But I mean, and especially here in the West Coast, because we only have 6 teams in our league, it's tough to get non-conference games. So we really I mean, traveled all over the place to try to play people. And we were lucky enough to have Harcum come to our place this year. Like those things are really rare in junior college, and we're grateful that we can find those games.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we mentioned that, right? You bring in Harcum, who's a really good team. You beat Harcum, and Harcum defeats Coach DeMeo in Northwest Florida over the weekend. You go to Eastern Arizona to Thatcher, the home of the Gila Monster, and you come away with a big win there. I mean, those are two really good teams. Just because they're not the Blue Bloods, the Hutch, the Moberlys, the Vincennes, Harcum and Eastern Arizona, both really, really good basketball teams that you have victories over already this season.
Yeah, it's been a good start. Obviously, two really good programs. Harcum beat Salt Lake here on our home floor. I mean, they're good. So yeah, we were grateful to play those games, and like playing those 4 games in Arizona on the road. 4 games in 6 days was just like our guys basically said, like, this is like it's going to Hutch. You play the first night, you got to win that one, and then you got to play the next night. And when we finally beat Yavapai on the last night, they were like, "Hey, we won the championship of this." So I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but it's really hopefully giving us that kind of road warrior mentality that we want to have.
I think it's a great bonding experience for the kids too, to be kind of forced to spend that much time with each other, fewer distractions. But I also think there's a deeper reason behind these 30 Division One games, right? This gives you a legitimate shot to get to the national tournament in Hutchinson, Kansas, right? Those Division One games mean so much. And the difference between 26 and 30 to a casual observer may not seem like a lot, but the opportunity to pick up 4 additional Division One wins is enormous when that selection committee is sitting down, especially when you don't have to worry about only 2 at-large teams coming from a district. Potentially you could have 3, 4 teams from your district make it to the national tournament. So I think you have a great inside track to the national tournament because of the incredibly great schedule that you've played. And I would imagine that's something that's important to you and everybody involved in administration at Snow.
Yeah, and luckily having athletic director Rob Nielsen, who was the head coach here, who took them to Hutch 4 years ago, like he totally embraces that and understands it. And I think when you kind of have that relationship with an athletic director who are like, hey, let's go play the toughest teams we can play and try to become the best that we can be, so that we go where we want to go. And I think for sure, when you're early in the career, like, my first year at this job, it's like, man, I just want to schedule some dubs, but like at the end of the day, like it's super fun to compete against really good teams. And when you lose to them, especially early in these, like, you guys know from at the Division 1 level, when you lose at Indian Hills, it means zero. It's like, hey, great job playing them, and it hurts you nothing. And I think the more we move to that direction, the more we're going to have people that are more open to taking the risk to travel to somewhere to play on their home floor. And then it doesn't hurt you. It's like, in fact, it's great that you did it, and you'll probably win more games because you did it.
And I think it also makes Snow a destination where those top programs will want to come in to Snow and play games there. And by the way, quick shout out, you guys have one of the best live streams in the entire country. Like the guys putting that together, just incredible job. I mean, it's like watching a Division 1 basketball game when you watch a Snow live stream. So great job there. So let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the kids on this team, because you guys don't look like a junior college basketball team. And it looks like a cohesive group that spent the last 3 or 4 years together, which I know is hard in basketball today. 5 guys in double figures. The Isaacs, Finlinson, and Garrett lead the way. McCade and Adams at 14 a game. Mark Brown Jr., 12.4. Chase Trujillo, averaging 10. 43% from 3. Everybody can shoot. Everybody can pass. Everybody can dribble it. My favorite stat, 72% from the free throw line. I like a good free throw shooting team. Just talk about your squad. I know there's a lot to love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think having really good players has helped, and having some returning experience has really helped. Isaac Finlinson, Isaac Garrett both played significantly last year. Isaac Finlinson led us in scoring in league last year. And so having those guys, Mark Brown Jr., who started for me all of last year and is, back. This is the first time in 3 years I've had a sophomore point guard, and like that is a world of difference. I mean, just a guy who can handle pressure and see the floor and make plays. And so they've done a great job of buying into like the efficiency. I mean, we've been preaching it. I show them their synergy numbers. So I mean, guys, this is what D1 coaches come and look at: is are you efficient? And I've got pretty much all of my guys above 1 point per possession, which is because they're doing a great job of learning to like, hey, what's my game and what am I going to say no to, so that I don't just I'm blowing up my numbers and they're bad. And so they've grasped that if each of them are efficient, I mean, we're going to be a really, really good team and hard to guard. And then just buying into like when we are successful collectively, it's ultimately what everybody gets what they want. And so but yeah, from an offensive standpoint, I'm really happy where we're headed. We have guys, 3 freshman post players that are have chance to be Division I players that are very efficient. And so we feel like we can score in transition. We can play inside, outside, but we definitely, do a really good job of sharing the ball. And so as an offense, that's really important to me. But then defensively, my assistant coach, Coach Kitchen, has done a great job of like handling the defense for us. And we've been way more disruptive defensively than we were last year. And I think that's been huge, especially on the road where, I mean, you have to get stops and offense sometimes stalls and things like that. But yeah, really, really excited about our guys. I definitely think we have multiple Division I players on our team. It's, finding coaches that want players that can dribble, pass, and shoot and guard. So,
I mean, who doesn't want that?
It's a great question. Great question.
We were at the Jamboree there and watching them play I think it was the first game. And just like right out of the Rocky Mountain Jamboree, just bang, 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 just shooter. I go up to Justin Furr from Indiana State and I said, Coach, you better watch out for that shooter. And he's like, which one?
Yep. It's been great. I don't think I've had in the past where I've had guys that have made more than 5 threes, like different dudes. Like we had a kid go 8 for 9, another dude go 5 for 7, another kid go 6 for 8. Like, I mean, that to me makes you really, really hard to guard.
Yeah, that'll do it. Well, Coach, I get to ask the hardest hitting question, of the show every time. So now, let's just imagine that maybe we're out in a league game, in January. I don't know, 6, 7 feet of snow somewhere. You're driving around in the bus, and fortunately, glowing off in the distance like a beacon in the night is the red and green of Chili's after a big win. So you guys pull in. What are you having at Chili's?
The honey chipotle crispers for sure, chicken crispers. Those are solid. I mean, you can't go wrong with those. Those are the like trademark of that place essentially. And then we'll do the 3 the guacamole, all that stuff, the chips. I mean, those are incredible. And depending on if it was a really big game, we'd get dessert. But otherwise that's the deal.
I mean, that's like a pretty nice recruiting thing. Like at Snow, there's desserts.
Yeah.
Tell us about the drinks you got behind you. Just rocking some protein shakes there. What do we have going on behind you there, Coach?
Yeah, just a little bit of recovery for our guys. One thing that I'm lucky. When I worked at BYU, our head strength coach there moved on, and he still lives close to us, and so I was able to convince him to come down here and work our guys out. I mean, he does a great job with our guys, and that's a huge advantage for me as a junior college coach to have a Division I experienced strength coach who's been at the coached with Coach Majerus, all that stuff. But he absolutely kills our guys in the weight room, and so we have that stuff to recover because it comes fast and hard, and but it's really our guys have really enjoyed it. So,
I thought the brothers Isaac were looking a little more svelte, a little bigger triceps. They're not brothers at all, but
right.
I'm going to refer to them.
They're not on the Rick Majerus diet, though, I assume.
They're not. But we do have a few pictures of those 2 guys as stepbrother pictures, that are classic. We should throw those out there for you.
What? Those exist, and we haven't yet.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can find the stepbrother pictures. I'm sure they're somewhere. So
we're always looking for like a good thumbnail for the for the cover of JUCO Jam. So if we could get the brothers Isaac stepbrother style, we can. I'm sure Zach in the background can make that work. But Coach, we wish you the best of luck the remainder of the way. I mean, I don't know that there's a more enjoyable team to watch in junior college basketball than Snow right now. So thanks so much for coming on JUCO Jam. Continued success. And guys, when we return, stay with us. We're going to get into the grind.
Appreciate it, guys.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. We are now going to transition to the grind. This is where we feature one of the top junior college players in the country. Today, we're going to talk about Walter Campbell, a sophomore from Roane State. As a freshman, he averaged a double-double. Now, as a sophomore, he's taken it up even another step. Still averaging a double-double, 21 and 10 per game. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know how much he weighs. You've been next to him. I'm going to guess 6'6", 220. What do you like, Brandon?
At least 220, probably. And the amazing thing is that he's putting up 21 and 10, and then on Sundays he goes and plays in the NFL. Just, for not one specific team, just whoever needs like a defensive end, linebacker, strong safety, tight end.
He's a strong physical kid.
Man, awesome kid too. Like super cool to be around.
You had him at JA 48, right?
JA 48. Yep. Great kid. But just plays hard. Like he's got some recruiting going on. He doesn't have what he should have, recruiting wise right now. I think over time that will change when people realize like physicality and rebounding and toughness is like cool. And the funny thing is with this recruiting stuff too, these Division I coaches, they get to about middle December and go, God dang it, we can't guard nobody. We don't rebound the ball. We don't whatever. We need to go get one of those kids. It's like, hallelujah. You finally woke up and realized that stuff translates. So,
but I think he's very versatile. Yeah, he's very versatile offensively, right? Like he can shoot threes, he can handle the ball, he can score on the block. I think he's this year's version of Owen Aquino. Like, I think there's a lot of similarities in their game. I think the one thing that neither of them do is neither of them block shots. Like, I would say that's the one thing that they just don't do. They're just they're not shot blockers. But to you, Walter Campbell at the Division I level, is he a power forward?
Yeah, I think in today's game, he's a power forward because like he's got fine handles, but these days that kind of three-man can is handling like a two guard in a lot of situations, even some fours that way, but he's so versatile and can play multiple positions. He can guard everywhere. That's what's exciting to watch about a kid like that, and then he can play on your football team if you need to. So
that's versatility. I like that. Speaking of another big strong kid, we're going to transition to the show. We're going to talk about Bear Cherry at UNLV. Incredible stat line, but 6'11", 280. He's a huge human being. 16.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, in only 24 minutes.
Yeah, not too bad. He is 79th in the country right now in offensive rating. He is a top 100 blocker. He is a top 100 rebounder. Get this stat. He is 7th in the country in 2-point field goal percentage. He has missed 2 shots this season.
I know every stat line's always like 7 for 7.
Yeah. It's just what's the easy thing to do? Yeah, I'm going to do that. And what's interesting about it is at J48 last year, we sat down, me and Kyle Drennan sat with him and went over some film about and I'm not saying that we had any impact on him at all. I'm not saying that. But we watched it with him and said, hey, like you're getting in these situations where you're making this way harder than it needs to be. You're trying to pivot here and do that, whatever. You're huge. Just dunk on people and just keep it simple. And, they did a great job down at NMJC, getting him ready, and then now at UNLV have really obviously got him locked in, and he's doing the simple things. And he's missed two dang shots in 3 games so far. And, obviously he's not going to keep a 91% 2-point field goal percentage clip the whole year,
Maybe.
but maybe he will.
Well, you can make a lot of money by doing the simple things really well.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So I'm really, really excited to see all of his success. Stay with us, guys. When we return, we're going to have our closing thoughts on Sixth Man.
Intensity fuels these champion student athletes to greatness. Zurich Insurance is proud to be the official provider of student athlete insurance for the National Junior College Athletic Association. Throughout the highs, we cheer along to their screams of victory. Throughout the lows, we support them through their tears of defeat. Zurich Insurance, helping student athletes play the sport they love.
Welcome back to JUCO Jam. As always, we like to close the show with some we like to close the show with some closing thoughts that we call the Sixth Man. It's been a long show. Brandon, I know you got some stuff that's burning. Take it away.
Yes.
What's on your mind?
Like light on fire burning. So some people may have seen the news, some may not. But there is some interesting things working its way through the legal system that could have a significant impact on junior college basketball. People have been hearing about this house settlement and NIL and what Congress is going to do and employment status and blah, 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 revenue sharing, so on and so forth. Not really something that has too much of an impact on junior college players until they move on. However, the quarterback, I believe, from Vanderbilt, has filed an additional antitrust suit, uh, alleging, among a few things, but one of them being that junior college eligibility counting against NCAA eligibility limits NIL opportunities. And so the idea being that playing in junior college should not impact the number of eligibility years you have in the NCAA because it's an antitrust situation. And so on December 4th, there should be a ruling on whether or not they are going to enjoin that case to the House settlement case. And if they do, then there would be likely an injunction effective on the 5th that junior college eligibility may not count against NCAA eligibility until they resolve it in the courts. What that means going forward, I've got no idea. They don't pay me the big bucks to figure all that out, but it is interesting. I see arguments obviously for both sides, but it could have a huge impact in junior college sports, where there's a potential, especially if the NCAA is thinking about graduation rates and meaningful degrees and things like that. That there could be some real opportunity for junior college to be even more so of like a prepare level academically, which would help those types of things. You come in your freshman year of a 4-year university with 24 hours of transferable credits, stuff like that. So, super, super interesting. Who knows what's going to happen? We've got a few weeks before we find out how the judge feels about it, but we'll see.
I love that. It's good to be educated, Brandon. It's good to know what's happening in the legal system. I know we've been a proponent of things like go to JUCO for 2, it only counts as 1, or go for 1 doesn't count against your eligibility. That kind of thing. So I think those are good things. I'd like to see the junior college route encouraged for more kids. because you do see kids once they go to Division I school sit on the bench. It is kind of hard, to kind of maybe reboot the career, right? So I think if you go to JUCO right out of high school, I think there are some significant advantages from that.
Yeah, especially with the transfer portal now, there's just not as many opportunities at the 4-year level as there were because of the portal, and so it's definitely not a bad thing to have junior college help prepare student athletes both on and off the floor, in the classroom.
Which is
Um,
what it's all about, to be successful after basketball, right?
100%.
So you can come back and be a coach like Pun Tisdale at Garden City,
There you
and
go.
give back. Guys, this has been another great week of junior college basketball action. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the show. Stay with us as always. Brandon and I have a lot of fun doing this. Hope everybody has a great sports week, and make sure you check out those top 10 games that we highlighted. See you, Brandon.